pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another year of high school football here on ValleyCentral.com, coming to you tonight from Brownsville, Texas, where with KBSD ITV, we are ValleyCentral.com. From Brownsville's ISD School District, we thank you. Joe Bowling, Kevin Naro alongside Sam Stadium, Weslaco East, Wildcats in town to take on the Rivera Raiders, and Kevin Naro, it all begins here on a Thursday night.
Yes, and it's good to be here, and I'm excited for this brand new year of high school football. And again, we're coming to you live from Sam's Memorial Stadium. The Rivera Raiders, Joe, they're coming into this year with high hopes. Last year, they had their Cinderella season come to an end, and when I say Cinderella, they snuck into the playoffs. They went on and beat Mac High in the first round of the playoffs, which shocked everybody across the valley. Them and Weslaco East, they're now coming in onto the field. Both similar styles of offenses tonight. They like to run the ball and control the clock.
Yeah, they like to do that very thing, but they're both going to be against something that the other also likes to hang their hat on, and that is the fact they both have very stingy defensive setups, and these two teams are going to rely on the defenses. I talked to Coach Tom Chavez during the pregame, and he said his defense is way ahead of the game, so he's relying heavily on this defense. So will Weslaco East.
Yeah, and Weslaco East is going to try and mix it up a little bit. And like I said, they're similar to these Raiders, but what these Wildcats are going to want to do is they're going to want to run the ball effectively and use that play action.
Live streaming of video and audio coming your way here on a Thursday night as we are ValleyCentral.com. We got 3 games coming your way tonight. 10 games will be streamed live tomorrow and another one on Saturday, and we will kick this thing off here with Sam Stadium in Brownsville, Texas. It's a hot, muggy kind of evening, Kevin. We've had some varied weather throughout the games we've done here on this stadium, but I don't think there's going to be any hotter conditions what we're going to start this game with.
No, absolutely. And these players are used to it. They've done the early spring ball. They know what the heat is like, so this really shouldn't faze them at all.
Upper 90s. There has been some rain in the area, and it added some humidity to the mix as these teams get ready to go. And you're talking about two teams that are clad in black and white and silver, so it's not going to do any favors as far as the uniforms and this heat.
Yeah, over on the Wildcat side, they have that mist blower going for some of the players when they're on the sidelines.
For the Raiders, they're going to receive the football to start this ball game, and the Weslaco East Wildcats will send their kicking team out. Wildcats going right to left, and the Raiders will be going left to right. Thanks again for the camera work that you'll be seeing from KBSD ITV, the Brownsville School District, assisting us here in a perfect spot from which to watch this game, set up at the 45-yard line on the home side. More importantly, in the air conditioning.
The Rivera Raiders are now part of the 32-6A district, as the Weslaco East Wildcats are in 31-6A, so a non-district matchup between these two.
Two guys back to return this kick for the Rivera Raiders, and their offense will hope they can set up in good shape to begin not just this ball game, but the season, and we are set to go. The Wildcats will put it into play. It's a short kick, fielded up around that 14-yard line, across the 20-yard line, middle of the field for the Rivera Raiders. On the return that time, Edward Rubio, a senior. He'll line up at the tight end spot for the offense, and here comes the Raider offense for the first time tonight.
And they're led by their senior quarterback. That's Danny Elizondo. Joe, we saw him in his junior season last year at Sam Stadium. A very good quarterback. He's their senior. They're going to be looking for him to have a big game tonight.
High school football here in the state of Texas, and fans out there on ValleyCentral.com can tune in worldwide, and they will be doing that. We know that. It's a proven fact throughout the years we've been doing this that they'll be tuning in. Want to send a shout out right now to my grandson, Reed Evans, listening to us in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and we are set to go here. First play from scrimmage for the Rivera Raiders. Elizondo's the quarterback, and he'll line them up. 2 backs in the backfield. Play action, wants to throw. Deep ball, right-hand side, and it's going to be overthrown. He had Sammy Oribe out there, a junior wide receiver, could have made a big play.
Yeah, just good coverage there from the defensive back, Joe. He had him one-on-one, and that's the matchup they're going to be looking for.
They went with the play action. Out there coverage-wise was J.R. Villarreal. He'll go both ways as he's going to be a defensive corner and also a wide receiver for this Weslaco East team. Now, the play clock will be a factor in this ball game. We're going to talk about the change in the rule. And right now we're at 13 as the Raiders come up to the line of scrimmage. I formation this time behind Elizondo on 2nd and 10. First drive of the ball game. Second man through, drives it forward, got to the 30-yard line. About a 2-yard gain and 3rd and long coming up. Neither one of these teams on offense want to be in this situation.
And that's what you're going to see tonight. Both, like you said, are stingy defenses. If the Raiders and both the Wildcats can stay out of the 3rd and long, I think that would favor the offense more.
3rd down and 10 for the Raiders. 11:24 to go. And once again, Kevin, the big change here is that the play clock will start as soon as the play finishes, not when they spot the football. And substitutions, we'll talk about that after this next play. 3rd down, call it 7 yards to go for the Raiders. They want to throw. Elizondo looks left, got a man on the flats, drop. That would have been a 1st down.
Chris Zuniga, the intended wide receiver, you got to catch that football on the far side. He still would have been a little bit short of the 1st down, but the Raiders will have to punt for the first time this evening.
So Weslaco East, the defense gets the stop, and they'll get their hands on the football. And Kevin, barring some huge punt here, they should get good field position.
They're going to be going from left to right. Lupe Moran will be back to field this punt for the Wildcats.
Moran will drift back inside his 35-yard line. 11:02 to go here in the first quarter of play. Scoreless ball game from Sam's Stadium in Brownsville, Texas. Good snap, no rush. They'll set up the return. Low line drive kick, going to take a bounce, and they'll let it roll inside the 25-yard line at about the 24, and that's where the Weslaco East Wildcats will send their offense out. First time they'll have their hands on the ball. And Kevin, let's talk about this play clock. The play will end, the play clock will begin, and if the offense doesn't substitute, defense can't substitute. Or if they do, they're at the mercy of the offense, who can snap the football anytime they want.
And that just goes onto the higher levels, how they're favoring the offenses and how we want to see more offenses score. So it's even taking an effect here at the high school level.
1st and 10 for the Weslaco East Wildcats, and they'll run the ball, and that's a big hit, and down he goes for a loss on the 1st down play.
Nice play there from the defense. That's Armando Arscora in on that tackle there.
Lupe Moran on the carry, but he, fortunate on the place of the ball, gets back to the line of scrimmage. And so it's a 2nd down play coming up for Weslaco East. And, you know, this Rivera team played well last week in a scrimmage against the Donna Redskins, and I'll talk about them a little bit. Shotgun formation for the Wildcats, and they'll run out of that formation and opening up a little room and getting across the 29 to about the 30-yard line as Moran looked like it was going to be a bigger play.
Good carry there from Moran, the running back. Now it'll set up a 3rd and manageable here for the Wildcats on their opening possession.
Game clock at the 10-minute mark. First quarter action. Rivera Raiders had the ball first. 3 and out, had to punt. Weslaco East with their hands on the football. Now, the camera work again coming to you through KBSD ITV. We'll have some replays coming up on this as well. They got a multiple camera shot here. 3rd and about 4.5 to go for the Wildcats. Pitch out Moran. Right side, got some room. Sideline and a bunch. Down the sideline, he's out of bounds. He nearly took it to the house. 1st down, though, for the Wildcats.
Just tight roping that sideline on the far side, Joe. Having he stayed in bounds, we'd be talking 6 for the Wildcats.
Moran got to the outside in a big hurry. And fortunately for the Rivera Raiders, he was bumped out. Still sets up 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. And they'll substitute, but you can already see the play clock down to 18 seconds as the Wildcats are sending the plays in literally as that last play ended. Under center this time. Rivas, the quarterback, takes a snap, hands the ball off, 2nd man through, bouncing across the 45. That's Emilio Tamez, a running back for the Weslaco East Wildcats, and they'll take that all day, Kevin, 4 or 5 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, Jonathan Banda, the right guard there for the Wildcats, really paved the way for his tailback there, and a good pickup.
Out across the 45 at the 47-yard line, Weslaco East in a 2nd down situation, 20 on the play clock as Rivas. Little motion up front, penalty flags on the play. Rivas drives forward, might have got a 1st down, probably going to get a free 5 yards out of this.
Yeah, I think they got their defensive line there on the hard count, but we're going to see what the call is from the officials.
And when they start this play clock, they have it set at 25 seconds on a stoppage such as a penalty. So again, Kevin, they are trying to speed things up at the high school football level here in the state of Texas, utilizing the play clock.
And it's going to go against the Raiders there, Joe.
They will march off the 5 yards. Official will spot that down, and once he does, they'll start that play clock. Talked to the officials extensively for about 20 minutes earlier today. They were saying it was a big concern on how they were going to keep the chain gang moving and everything. Fumble on the snap, and that's a loose football. Looks like the Wildcats got it back.
Yeah, Darren Rivas, the Wildcats quarterback, looked to be muffed to the snap. Fortunate for Weslaco East, they were able to maintain possession here, which could have been a big turnover early in this ball game.
Talk about Darren Rivas, one of the quarterbacks in the Rio Grande Valley this year, Kevin, and there is a bunch of them that are coming back after last year with some big numbers, and this year looking for bigger. Rivas, the quarterback, on second down. Man in motion left to right is Ricky Cardoza. Pitch out to Marone. Right side, tripped up, got about 2.5.
Again, they're favoring that right side of the offensive line, Joe. And early on, I think this Wildcats offense is trying to just pace their way into the end zone.
Like I said, 2, 3, 4 yards. If they get 5 yards a pop, they'll march it down and won't even look to throw the football. But you have to respect the arm of Darren Rivas, who can hit you with a play action. And
what both head coaches said, the key in this ball game is who is going to be able to maintain the time of possession in this one.
We're underway here in the first quarter of play, 7:41 and counting. Rivera Raiders had it first, had to punt it. Weslaco East now in Rivera territory, 2 on the play clock, better hurry. Just got the snap away. Rivas, no they didn't. Penalty flag on the player, they call a timeout first.
See what the official, looks like they were able to get the timeout just in time.
That'll give us a chance to talk just a little bit more about this play clock, Kevin. And prior to this season, what would happen when the play ended is they would unpile everyone, set the ball in place, and then start the play clock. Now, as soon as the play ends, whether it's an incomplete pass, whether it's a fumble, whether it's a tackle, as soon as the man hits the ground, the score clock operator isn't looking for an official. He's simply looking for a signal, whether it's the down, the incomplete, the out of bounds, and that signals him to start the play clock at 40 seconds.
And again, it goes all in favor of to the offense. And what we've seen, I mentioned earlier, at the higher levels, a lot of people want to see the high-flying offense, the fast-paced offenses, and that's a shock to me to hear about that role here in high school football.
It makes even a team like Weslaco East appear like they're in a hurry-up offense. Now, tomorrow night when I'm watching the Sherryland Rattlers, we'll talk to another level, because I know Coach Ron Adami will utilize that because he knows he's going to have defenses on there that can't substitute. Third down coming up for the Wildcats after the timeout. That was their first here in the first half. Rivas out of a shotgun formation. Keeps Cardozo in the backfield, rolls out, pressure, hit, fumbled football, and the Raiders have it.
Big time play there from Angel Espinosa, forcing the loose football and an early turnover and a big play from the defense there.
You take a team that likes to run the football, turn them into a passing team, and Kevin, I know most coaches that like to run look at a pass and say bad things can happen, and it did in this case.
If you're the Raiders here, do you go big on the first play?
Well, they did on the first play on their first drive and ended up in a quick 3 and out. We'll see what they do here. 1st and 10 in Wildcat territory. Receivers to either side of the field, an I formation. Elizondo, the quarterback, appears to be changing it up as he takes a look at the defense. 9 on the play clock, takes a snap, drops back, looks to throw, looking deep. Down the middle, has a man in a diving incomplete pass.
Sammy Orvi, the intended wide receiver, about a half a step off the tips of his fingers there. Nearly again, could have had a potential touchdown.
He was there. Incompleted pass brings up 2nd and 10 for the Rivera Raiders. Answers that question right away. Do they want to go for a big play?
This offensive line has done a fair job thus far, giving their quarterback, Danny Elizondo, plenty of time in the pocket to go through his reads.
Plenty of action coming your way here on our live streaming, valleycentral.com. Assistance with KBSD ITV on our broadcast tonight from Sam's Stadium in Brownsville, Texas. 2nd and 10 for the Raiders. They'll run it. Right side, little room across the 40, inside of the 38-yard line. Nice carry that time by Mario Mendez, the junior.
Mendez, one of 2 running backs that's going to have to fill in those big shoes that Jaquil Evans left last year, over 1,400 total yards on the ground. So the running game for the Raiders is going to be big in this opening game for them.
3rd and 4. Is this 4-down territory for the Raiders in the first quarter?
Raiders, like the Wildcats, kind of taking their time, trying to pace their offense.
Elizondo brings him up. Single back in the backfield, twin receivers right-hand side. Man in motion, right to left. Elizondo now moves him back, takes a snap, drops back, wants to throw. Rolling out, has time, caught, and it's incomplete.
That's Edward Rubio, the intended wideout. Hit him right in the numbers. If you're the Wildcats, you're thinking moral victory there.
So of the 3 pass attempts for the Rivera Raiders, we've had one overthrown, a second dropped, another overthrown, now a 4th pass that was dropped. The 2 third down passes were dropped, Kevin Narrow.
And the third down is the key. It's not like if it's first or second down. When you're at third down, you got to convert.
And it appears as though the Raiders will go for it on 4th down, but they'll do it only after they talk things over. Timeout on the field, their first of the ball game. We are at the 6:28 mark here in quarter number 1 from Sam Stadium. Brownsville Rivera Raiders and the Weslaco East Wildcats are scoreless. Fans out there, send us a shout if you're listening to this game or watching it, I should say. At Joe KGBT is Twitter and Instagram, and also on Facebook. Contact us here on valleycentral.com. Let us know where you're watching this game from, Kevin.
Yeah, and it's good to be back here for another season, like you said. And I saw you and Clay run that show about last week, and you mentioned how this year you're more excited of any year in past about just the talent in the Valley, and it should be another good season of Valley High School football.
Well, and like we were talking about earlier, Kevin, so many quarterbacks return this year, good ones.
I can't wait to see Santos Villarreal. He's one of them on my list that I'm excited for.
And Mission Vets quarterback up there. Santos, of course, the twin powers, if you will, for the Sherryland Rattlers, and Diego Chrysler and Mr. Madden. Raiders going to go for it on 4th down. They'll need about 4.5. Got to get it inside the 25 for the first down. And they want to throw. Time, Elizondo looks to run, takes it upfield, got the first down, took a big hit, but he saw what he needed and he got the first down.
He had a man open. That was Joey Silva Joe on the far side of the field, but it looked as if he got held for just a moment past the 5-yard marker. But good awareness there from the quarterback Elizondo to tuck in and run and pick up a big first down.
This drive occurring for the Rivera Raiders after their defense forced a turnover on a fumble that they recovered in Weslaco East territory. Drive now continues. New set of downs from the 33. From the left hash mark as the shadows start to creep across Sam Stadium. Wide receiver, wide right. They'll run the ball to the right side. Big hole opens up inside the 25-yard line. About a 9-yard gain that time. First carry on the night for Aiel Guevara.
Guevara with an all-purpose run there right up to the right side. He did it all on his own there. He just made things happen, and he hit that hole quick.
2nd and 1 yard to go for the Rivera Raiders, and you can see right now their offensive line is believing that they can take this big defensive front 4 for the Weslaco East Wildcats head on.
That's been the key so far in this opening quarter for the Raiders.
Single back in the backfield behind Danny Elizondo on this 2nd down. Free play, if you will, for the Raiders. Elizondo pitches out right-hand side and a first down and more inside the 20-yard line. Fumbled football. Looked like the Raiders got it back.
That play started off really good. That was Ray Sanchez opened up the hole for his tailback, but then fortunate for the Raiders, they were able to maintain possession here deep in Wildcat territory.
It is enough for a first down. They'll mark it down at the 18-yard line of the Weslaco East Wildcats, and this Rivera Raider team, which got better and better and better as the season went along last year. Kevin, looks like they're in good shape right now out of the gate, opening game of the season. Elizondo under center. On a first down play, they'll run it left-hand side in a big hole inside the 10-yard line, driving down inside near the 5-yard line, and that's a nice run on first down for Guevara.
Guevara carrying 2 defenders with him in that second effort there, putting him about inside the 5-yard line. And an impressive drive here for the Raiders.
First and goal coming up for the Rivera Raiders.
So the Raiders threatening to put up the first points in this one.
Elizondo brings him up. 4:48 to go first quarter. Man in motion right to left, and he wants to throw. Has a man. It's going to be dropped inside the 2.
Edward Rubio again, the man on the intended wideout. Kind of ran a simple flat route in and out of his hands, but I think even though he would have caught it, there were two defenders right behind him.
This is where your coach on the sidelines is glad that he hangs his hat on how strong his defense can be, because even though the Rivera Raiders got it down in the red zone this deep, Coach Burgett and company for the Weslaco East Wildcats can hope his defense can pull off a stand. Second and goal for Elizondo. 4:40 remaining in the first quarter. Split backfield behind him on the second down play. Motion on the line. Penalty flags come in.
That's going to be a false start on the right side of the offensive line.
Like I said, Kevin, you give a defense a little bit of room to start working with, and this can turn into a stopped drive in the blink of an eye.
And it's almost like these Raiders are taking one step forward and two steps back. You know, there's a bunch of miscues on this drive.
Football now back at the 10-yard line. It's still a goal-to-go situation for the Rivera Raiders. Elizondo brings him up to the line. Play clock at 13 and counting. Single back is Guevara in the backfield. Receiver goes in motion left to right. Elizondo wants to throw. Has a little room. Flushed out of the pocket. Gonna run. Got a lot of room. Inside the 5. Got a block. Touchdown Raiders.
Sammy Orvai, the wide receiver, paved that way to the right side of the end zone, Joe, and a nice tuck and run from their quarterback, Danny Elizondo, as you're looking at the replay.
Watch this block develop here, Kevin, on the right side.
It's flushed out of the pocket, then it's somewhat of a Superman dive into the end zone.
And the Rivera Raiders take the turnover, turn it into points, and lead in this ball game 6-0. Extra point coming up, and put it in the books. 7-0 Rivera Raiders. 4:31 to go. This is high school football on ValleyCentral.com with the assistance of KBSD ITV in Brownsville, Texas at Sam Stadium. We are back here in Brownsville, Texas, Sam Stadium, the location. And Kevin, you know, a couple of years ago when people talked about coming down to play the Brownsville schools, a lot of them chalked it up as, okay, we get to go down there and take a win and walk away. Weslaco East now knows when you're playing Rivera, you're up against a quality football team.
Yeah, and a quality football team is absolutely correct. And we saw last year how this team, like you said, they kind of evolved and they kind of found their identity and went on this magical run. And let's not forget, they did take down those Mackay Bulldogs in the first round. So you know that the potential that this team has.
And the scary part, again, about Tom Chavez teams is their defense gets better and better and better as the season goes on. And right now, his team has caused a turnover. The offense turned that into points, and they lead here with 4:31 to go in the first quarter. Kickoff coming up by the Raiders. Wildcats will return it. That's Juan Badillo. He'll bring it across the 10, looking to get to the outside. Got one block, and then it's driven down and tackled hard before he got to the 20.
Brian Gonzalez with a nice open field tackle there on special teams. Now, if you're the Wildcats, you're down 7 early. You saw what the Raiders can do offensively. If you're Darren Rivas, you got to get downfield and you got to get some points on the board.
Now, they were moving the football against the Raiders until they halted there about the 40-yard line, got it into Raider territory, and then were thrown backwards, and then ultimately the fumble. Second time the Wildcat offense has been on the field, and hey, nice cloud placement right there as the sun was in the worst spot possible in these early season games. Now we can see the field clearly. Running play for the Wildcats, and that fumble football again. It looks like the Raiders get it again.
Who comes up with the football for the Raiders? That's Luis Rios. The second turnover deep in their own territory, and they've always said it, turnovers turn into points.
Emilio Thomas, the ball carrier, and as he turned and squared his shoulders forward, someone see defense. They stripped it before he turned his shoulders up, and the Raiders, golden opportunity here, leading 7-0, set up this drive in the red zone. Call it the 19-yard line. Back on the field, the offense. Elizondo, they went for the juggler on the first play last time after a turnover. He'll want to throw again. Drops back, looks, has a man, and it's going to be caught at the 10-yard line.
Chris Zuniga on the reception. Now their quarterback Elizondo starting to find a rhythm here late in the first quarter.
You got a defense definitely on their heels, backpedaling, Kevin. They just had to go out there. They got 7 points thrown at them. One play later, they're back on the field again in the red zone. That play was a 9-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 1 coming up for the Raiders. Elizondo keeps 2 backs in the backfield as Mendez and Guevara back there. He wants to run it himself. Looks to the outside, got hit, ducks his head, got about 2.5.
Daniel Vela on the tackle there on the near side of the field. Are you in 4-down territory if you're the Raiders?
Well, that's a first down right there. That sets up 1st and goal. Yes, they went 4-down territory at the 25 earlier. Yes, up 7-0 on your home field. Opening game of the season, 3:23 and counting here in the first quarter for the Rivera Raiders. Elizondo, the quarterback, brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Twin receivers right-hand side. Wide left goes Sammy Uribe. Guevara in the backfield. Man in motion is Mendez. Hand off to Guevara. Hit in the backfield. Won't get to the line of scrimmage. Loss on the play.
Eben Lopez was the man that led the charge. They're sniffing out that play from the get-go. The Raiders never had a chance.
Brings up 2nd down and goal to go for the Rivera Raiders. Spot the ball back at the 10-yard line. This is where they scored the touchdown on this last drive. As senior quarterback Danny Elizondo took it in. He'll bring him out of the huddle, 15 on the play clock. Raiders trying to capitalize on the 2nd turnover of the night by the Weslaco Wildcats. Elizondo wants to roll out right side, gets rid of the ball, man, got it in traffic, touchdown Raiders.
How about that play there from Edward Rubio? Had a couple of drops early on. He made up on that play there. Knowing he's going to get hit too as you're going to look at the replay.
He is in traffic, 2 men, 3 men hit him, and he comes up with that football.
Right on the money too from Elizondo.
13-0 extra point coming up for the Rivera Raiders.
That's what head coach Tom Chavez said. If we can force turnovers early and put some pressure on these Wildcats, I would like our chances.
Extra point up, away, and good. And just like that, it's a 14-0 lead for the Rivera Raiders. Kickoff coming up. This is high school football on ValleyCentral.com. Back here at Sam Stadium in Brownsville, Joe Boley, Kevin Naro alongside, 2:21 to go first quarter. Raiders leading, kicking off again, feeling some confidence against Weslaco East. Badia will bring it back down the left-hand side, spins forward at about the 28-yard line, and the Wildcats offense, if nothing else, Kevin, needs to give the defense a breather on this drive.
Not only one, but they got to hold on to the football, Joe. These last 2 drives have resulted in fumbles, and those fumbles eventually turning into points, and they're down 14-0 as we're reaching the tail end of this first quarter. If you're the Wildcats, you'd have to buckle down now because all momentum is in favor of those Raiders.
Wildcats taking their time breaking out from the sidelines. Their offense, a one-play drive last time on the field. now they'll come back out here trying to play come from behind football in the first quarter. Incompleted pass there.
Ricky Cardoza, Joe, there's going to be a flag on the play. He had him wide open, just overthrew his man.
Stops the play with 2:11 to go here in the first quarter.
There had to have been a busted coverage because no one was around him, and he could have been into the end zone, but just overthrew him.
Here comes the call from the official. It'll be a false start against the Wildcats, so that would have been waved off either way.
It probably explains why the defense was not on tap there.
Puts the ball back to the 19-yard line. Check that to 24.
Not the way you want to start a drive down early.
Not when you've turned it over on consecutive drives. Now you're first and long. You don't want to throw the football anyway. And you start adding more factors to a defense that's already playing with a high level of confidence, who now can pin their ears back and come after you. On first down, they'll throw left side, incomplete.
That one looked funny right out of the get-go, Joe. Rivas looked as if he kind of muffled the football when he got the snap. That throw was like a wounded duck over to the left side and incomplete.
And receiver J.R. Villarreal saw that he was going to reach his hand out there for the football. He saw a defender coming. Had he attempted to catch that ball, he was going to get drilled. Second down and 15 yards to go. Game clock at 2:08 to go, first quarter. Pass play again. They'll look over the middle, incompleted pass. Nearly a tip drill assignment there, and Victor Melchor, the defensive back, would like to have his hands on that one again.
Villarreal just on a simple slant route there. You got to make that catch in and out of his hands. Now you're looking at what's going to be a third and long.
15. Third and 15 for the Wildcats. Stops the clock with 2:03 to go. Wildcats trailing here 14-0 as the Rivera Raiders have turned consecutive turnovers into touchdowns. And now trying to force the Wildcats to give up the football again. Man in motion, they want to throw. Now it's a running play and a lot of room, and down the sideline, this is going to go. Little trickery by the Wildcats, and 76 yards later, touchdown on the run. And where did Angel Flores come up with that ball?
Angel Flores just came from the backside. It look, Joe fooled us up here. We're kind of looking, where's the football? And the defensive line for the Raiders were all jammed in. If we're going to get the replay here in just a minute, a little trickery is correct, and they pull the rabbit out of the hat, and they score big, and they're going to cut this lead in half.
Just like that. And Kevin, I was duped from the word go. I was watching everyone rolling right side. So was the entire defense for the Rivera Raiders. And down the left sideline for the score. Wildcats with the extra point. Good snap, good placement. Ball up, through. Extra point is good. Minute 50 to go, first quarter. We'll still try to see if we can get a replay and find out exactly how that play worked out. Either way you look at it, Weslaco East on the board, trailing 14-7. Back here in Sam Stadium and Kevin Naro, I'm still trying to figure out I want to see the replay myself. Fans, you'll get to see it tonight on Action 4, as we will have highlights and interviews from these Thursday night games. But I want to see that. I want to see exactly how they executed that play. Either way, it was perfection who scored the points.
Rene Guzman, kudos to you, the offensive coordinator, for those Wildcats dialing up that trick play, and a huge play there for the Wildcats.
Raiders now on the return of the kickoff. Short kickoff, they'll get good field position again. Across the 30, out across the 32, 33-yard line. And now the Raiders offense back on the field. And if you want to look at a negative on those points scored, defense back on the field in a hurry for Weslaco East. In essence, 3 plays, they got to rest.
So it's, you kind of give and take. You get your points, but yet you throw your defense back out there to a red-hot Danny Elizondo and company.
14-7 to score, minute 42 to go. Most people expected a low-scoring defensive struggle. Here we are with 21 combined points in the first quarter, still counting with a minute 42 to go. Raiders with the football. Elizondo hands it off, and a lot of room across the 40 into the secondary, to the midfield, and into Wildcat territory for a first down.
J.C. Vargas on the open field tackle, and right out of the gate, the Raiders come back with a right hook of their own.
Mario Mendoza on the carry. And just like that, they're back in Weslaco East territory. And Kevin, this Raider offense is looking better than I expected out of the gate.
And the way they say it, like mid-season form.
They're running the ball. Even the incompleted passes were routes that were run. Guys were open, ball in the spot, couple of drops. But right now they're doing what they want to do against this Weslaco East defense, which, by the way, folks, is going to be a good one as the season progresses on. Elizondo sets a tight end on the right-hand side. That's Rubio, and he calls a timeout. Now a penalty flag comes in before that. He got the timeout.
Just
wave
in
off
time.
the penalty flag.
So Rivera, Joe, they're coming out swinging. You know, this game was across the valley. We were doing some research, and a lot of the writers around the valley said it was going to be a close game. One of them said 24-23, and you and I talked earlier, and we were thinking, you know, low scoring, but it's a 14-7 score early, and I really like what the Raiders are doing. They're running the ball, and then they'll open it up with some play-action passes, but the key is the receivers got to catch the football.
You can do a lot when you've got a senior quarterback at the helm and a couple of playmakers versus what we'll see in some of the teams this year, Kevin, who are replacing some of the top quarterbacks that have left. One of those teams being Port Isabel Tarpons.
Gruya was actually favored to beat Port Isabel. I don't know how accurate that is,
Pretty accurate.
but okay. Well, we're going to have to wait and see. I know we've covered Port Isabel the past few years, and we've known they've been the powerhouse.
They've got some playmakers. They are young, to say the least, and they're replacing
Some big shoes.
18 guys, the first 18, not just the first 11, 18. Running play left side for the Raiders. On second effort, there's a fumbled football right at the midfield stripe, and it looks like the Raiders got it back. Again, a nice bounce for them.
Daniel Vela was the first man in there, wreaking havoc there in the backfield. And again, the Rivera Raiders, they're going to have old lady luck on their side on that one, able to maintain possession for the second time.
There's been 4 balls on the ground tonight, all of them recovered by the Rivera Raiders. 2 on defense, 2 on offense. Second down play coming up. Now the Raiders with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, facing 3rd and long. Call it 11 yards to go. Shift everyone. Trip receiver right-hand side for Elizondo. Drops back, looking right, throws the ball, tip, drill, and caught out of bounds.
Edward Rubio got that one off the rebound there, if you want to say it, just a bit outside.
See if they got the replay on that one, because Rubio, Kevin, he spun. He knew he was going to catch the ball. The spin took him out of bounds. You stay there, catch it, you get that reception, and you might be able to make some yards. Watch this as the ball, well, it's already on that was a touchdown.
Good awareness, though.
It was. He kept his eyes on the football, just tried to spin and run with it as he was reeling it in versus catch it and then make your move.
Usually you see receivers turn defenders sometimes on those touch plays.
3rd and long. Elizondo, pump fake, rolls right side, spins it, nice move inside, takes on a tackler, well short of a first down at the 45-yard line.
Look at Elizondo. He's no quarterback where he's going to slide. He's lowering his shoulder there, saying, bring it on to the linebackers.
And we're going to see some quarterbacks that are capable of doing that a little bit later on this year. Mercedes, for one, with Rene Presses, converted linebacker, now quarterback. Kevin, when we watched him in scrimmage action, he was running downfield, had opportunities to step out of bounds, was looking for which defender he wanted to run over. We got quarterbacks like that this year in the Valley. That play will take us to the second quarter. In the first quarter of play, Rivera Raiders jump out with consecutive scores, lead it 14-7, and just like the speeding up things with the play clock, how about this? Welcome to the second quarter in the blink of an eye. Punting formation for the Raiders of Rivera. Good snap, no rush. Kick to the left side away from the return man. Takes a dangerous bounce. Wildcats let it roll inside the 5, and it goes in the end zone.
Good hustle there from the special teams of the Raiders. Now it's going to be turned over. They're going to be going from left to right. So again, the Wildcats got that big play. They're only trailed by a score now. And they kind of slowed down that Rivera Raider offense.
And it was heading downhill against the Weslaco East Wildcats. They were facing a 3rd and long when they pulled off the touchdown run of 76 yards by Angel Flores. Now back on the field. Wildcats can settle things down. Don't have to gamble near as much here. Rivas takes the snap, hands the ball off, first man through, and he is stuck, and down he goes after a yard.
Nowhere to go on that play. But again, that's just a staple of both sides of the ball, both the Raiders and the Wildcats. They both like to run the football, and then maybe they could open up that play action.
That was Angel Flores, and he's looking at his last 2 carries and saying, I like that 76 yards where no one knows I have the ball versus that one. 1 yard gain, he'll feel it tomorrow morning. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Wildcats of Weslaco East. They trail 14-7. And they'll pitch it out left-hand side, trying to get wide as Morone got a block down the sideline, and he may go to the 50, 40, and they won't catch him. He's extending the lead, and then he goes. They're a point away from tying this one up. Touchdown Wildcats.
How about that? Angel Flores leading the way for his tailback, laying out the block beautifully.
With 10:57 to go in the 2nd quarter, Weslaco East on a 79-yard run by Lupe Morone can tie this ball game up.
Angel Flores was the man who scored the first points on the long run. This time he's leading the charge.
Extra point for the Wildcats. Good snap, nearly blocked. The ball is through. Penalty flag comes in on that one. That's going to be good, and then they hit the kicker. So the penalty will be assessed against the Raiders. With 10:57 remaining here in the 2nd quarter of play. Brownsville, Sam Stadium, the location. Kevin Norrell to my right. I'm Joe Bowling with you here on ValleyCentral.com. All knotted up, 14 apiece. Back here in Brownsville, Texas, we are at Sam Stadium. Thanks again to KBSD-ITV from the Brownsville ISD School District, assisting us with the camera work and providing the replays for the fans back home. Streaming live video and audio coverage once again this season here on Valley Central on Thursday and Saturdays. Our streaming continues on Friday with live audio. And Kevin, we got Twitter fans out there that are keeping track of things going on here. We had what looked like a potential blowout in our hands, and suddenly everything's changed. All tied up at 14.
You just tell your offense, calm down. We're still in the 1st quarter at the time, down 14-0. But now the Wildcats with 2 big runs have put themselves back into this ball game, and we're all knotted up.
Wildcats to kick off, and they'll tee it up at the midfield stripe, actually at the 45 of the Raiders. Short kick in the end zone. Raiders let it bounce in there, and they'll take over. And so now you're Tom Chavez. You send your offense out there. Much different approach, Kevin Narrow. Still 10:57 to go in the 2nd quarter. You did all that right in the 1st quarter. You got to put that away as you are now in a war.
Absolutely, and it's going to come down to, now that it's back to a tied ball game, who commits the first turnover first? Who can control the clock? Who can win that battle in the trenches? 1st quarter goes to those Wildcats, and then towards the end of the 1st and into the 2nd quarter, rather the Raiders and the Wildcats came back.
Raiders with the football on a 1st and 10. Receiver either side of the field. They'll run it to the right or left-hand side and out across the 30-yard line, sliding to the 32 on the carry that time is Guevara, who's had a good first half.
Yeah, Guevara again, one of the other two running backs that we mentioned earlier that have those big shoes to fill.
Gain 7 on that one, brings up a 2nd down and 3 yards to go. Found out late in the game I was going to be calling this ball game. Didn't bring the computer with me to keep track of the statistics. Normally I would have those on the fly. I formation for the Raiders. They'll run it right-hand side. This time Guevara gets hit, thrown backwards. Forward progress going to take him for a gain of about a yard. 3rd and short coming up for the Raiders. Critical they get a first down here on 3rd and 1.
Eben Lopez again on that tackle there, keeping him just shy of converting. So you're right, it's going to be a 3rd and 1, maybe a hard count here from Elizondo.
Joey Silva, a senior wideout, brings a new play in for the Raiders. He'll line up as a receiver to the left-hand side. They go with a 4-receiver set, just trying to spread this defense out on 3rd and a yard. They want to throw over the middle. It's caught for a first down at the 44, a juggling catch in traffic once again, Rubio.
How about the throw from Elizondo, knowing he was going to get hit, being blitzed from his right side, just threw a strike in there to Rubio. Nice pitch and catch there.
Kevin, you got the roster right there to your side. Take a look at how many seniors are on this Rivera Raider football team. These kids have got some experience.
Absolutely, and we saw it last year, how they started to develop as a team, and it's carrying on so far into this 2014 season.
1st and 10 for Elizondo. Takes a snap, hands the ball off. Right-hand side is going to be Mendez. Got a couple. 2nd and, call it 8 to go.
And they're going with that 1-2 punch in the tailback. Usually we've seen a lot of schools go to that. Economides had a 3-man punch a few years ago. So far it's been a 1-2 combination for these Raiders.
They'll mark that down at the 46-yard line of the Weslaco Wildcats, and so it brings up a 2nd down and 7 yards to go. We'll go under 9 minutes to go in the first half here for the Rivera Raiders. Elizondo sends a man in motion. Movement at the line. They'll run the play. Guevara got a couple, but they'll probably get 5 free ones out of this one.
I think they got one of the defensive linemen to jump on the hard count. Let's see what the official calls. Ball right around midfield.
Would have been a 3-yard gain, and it would bring 3rd down. However, the penalty will give them the 5 yards and remain 2nd down. They spot the ball, move the chains. Raiders now in Weslaco East territory. Raiders scored after forcing a couple of turnovers. Weslaco East, bang, bang on big plays. A 76-yard run topped by a 79-yard run. 2nd and about 2.5 to go for the Raiders. Play clock on one side of the field says 0s. The other side 25. Now they got them set. Thus the pause there prior to the snap. Elizondo talking to his backs. Maybe changing the play up. Had a lot of time to take a look at that defense. And this is where, again, a senior quarterback can assist you greatly. Takes a snap, hands the ball off, left-hand side, and that's near 1st down territory.
Looks like
he's like about a half-yard
right on the line, yeah. We'll see if they can give him that right or left foot.
Your first call of the night. You get it? Yes, he did.
At the tip of the football. They'll set up a fresh set of downs for the Raiders.
This drive for the Rivera Raiders starting after that 79-yard run by the Weslaco East Wildcats. Recap your scoring with 4:31 to go in the first quarter. Danny Elizondo, the quarterback for the Rivera Raiders, from 10 yards goes in 7-0. He then connects with Angel Espinoza with 2:28 to go in the first. 14-0 Raiders. Now they've got the ball on a 1st down play. Elizondo looks to throw. Right side. Got it, man. Caught inside the 35.
Sammy Orvai again, the wide receiver there. Nice play action pass though there from Elizondo.
Actually, there were 2 receivers in the same spot, ran the same route. I guess if you're both open, quarterback's eyes got to get big there. Nothing but black shirts to throw into.
Yeah, it was Orvai and Rubio, and I didn't know who he was going to throw to, and I saw Orvai pop up at the last second and haul that one in.
1st down play for the Raiders. Continuing with the recap of scoring, first quarter was a busy one with 1:50 to go. Weslaco East on an Angel Flores run for 76 yards in the end zone. And then with 10:57 to go in the second, Lupe Moron for 79 yards. Running play for the Raiders on first down, and that's not going to go anywhere.
Nice play there from the defense, and a much needed one there from the Wildcats. Ricky Cardoza leading the charge there for the Wildcat defense.
Mendez on the carry. Reminding you fans, at halftime, we'll keep the stream going. It'll be coverage of the band, and for those of you who will be watching and wondering why you can't hear the bands, this streaming thing's got all kinds of little niceties, if you will, you got to get by, and one of those is a licensing on the music itself. Pass play for Elizondo. Play action, has a ton of time. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. Right side pass, juggled and caught at the 27-yard line. It's short of a first down. How did Uribe hang on to that one?
I have no idea, but again, on the far side of the field, on our side, he had his man Rubio wide open. He just missed him.
Third down coming up for the Rivera Raiders. Football at the 26 of the Weslaco East Wildcats. Game tied at 14 apiece here in the first half. Elizondo, I formation behind him on third down. Second man through with a carry. And that's going to be close to first down yardage again. We'll watch the spot.
Again, these Raiders just going back to what they do, and that's running the football and killing the clock. And he's going to signal first down Raiders.
That will be another first down. This is an impressive drive as we've seen on the night, Kevin. We've seen some big plays. This is a sustained drive.
Especially in a situation like it is right now, really answering back to these Wildcats that have come back and scored 14 unanswered.
From the 23-yard line, the Rivera Raiders up to the line. Wide receiver right-hand side is Joey Silva. He's on the short side of the field. Man in motion is Mendez. They'll pitch it, run it left side. Guevara got a lot of room down to the left side, inside the 10 to the 9.
Rojas there saved the touchdown saving tackle.
Ayu Guevara tripped up, fell forward to the 8-yard line. First and goal coming up, Rivera Raiders. This is a big-time confidence boost for this offensive line of Rivera. They had a couple of drives on some short field possessions, but this is a long one. First and goal for the Raiders. Got to respect this play action as well right now if you're on the defensive side for the Wildcats. Elizondo, play action, wants to throw. Flushed out, lets it go, incomplete.
He's looking for Rubio, the intended wide receiver, but there is a flag down on the far side of the end zone, right between those stars over.
A lot of times that's for that contact beyond the 5 yards. It'll go against the defense in a lot of cases. It will be a hold against the Wildcats. Kevin, I know in the pros they're cracking down on that a lot, and we're going to see that more in high school as well.
And again, all favoring the offense. Everyone wants to see lots of points.
See those Texas A&M type games. Is that what you're saying?
Somewhat.
No, you have to play a little defense.
Yeah.
Still first down. Goal to go from the 4-yard line for the Raiders. Pitch out. Guevara spins forward. Oh, hit hard. Got back to the line of scrimmage on second and third effort alone. Not much there.
Yeah, kind of like a pinball there, going from left to right. Way to hold on to the football, though.
He hit his own man first. That bounced him back into some defenders in hot pursuit. Second down and goal to go for the Rivera Raiders. 6 minutes left here in the half. Again, fans, you'll be able to continue with the stream at halftime. We'll step aside, allow the bands to perform. You can at least watch the bands. Second and goal coming up for the Raiders. Under center, Elizondo hands it off Guevara. Right-hand side, ducks his head, got down to about the 2.5. Third and goal coming up.
And a big third down play here defensively for those Wildcats.
He got better forward progress than I thought, Kevin. That's down near the 1. Still third and goal for the Raiders. And you can see these guys understand this play clock. You better get in there quick with the play. It's already down to 17 as they break out of the huddle. On a 3rd and goal situation, Raiders Elizondo takes a snap, drives forward, fumbles the football in the end zone, and recovered by Weslaco East. Raiders say it was a touchdown first, Kevin. No indication from the officials yet.
You're right, no indication yet, but we can just go by with the body language. Wildcats are saying it's their football.
Raiders are saying it's a touchdown. Officials still talking things over. The ball was clearly recovered in the end zone by Weslaco East, and the officials going to say it is a false start on the offense. They'll take all that away and say it's a false start, 5-yard penalty, replay the down.
And so after all that fuss, you know, Elizondo was coming out of that huddle kind of shaking his head. I was going by the body language because we couldn't see the officials. Once he came out shaking his head, I was thinking either there was a penalty or it was going to be a turnover. But hey, that penalty is a blessing in disguise.
Did you see
if you're the Raiders.
Did you see it?
Nowhere. Considering they have similar colors and there was a big bunch of players and the officials, they must have seen something we didn't.
Raiders get a break. Still 3rd down, goal to go. Now from the 6-yard line. Timeout called by Rivera's Raiders. Big play coming up here, Kevin, to say the least. 5:05 to go in the second quarter. Game tied at 14 apiece. Rivera doesn't get in. You know you got a kicker that can reach that distance. Do you settle for 3 here?
You settle for 3. It's still early in the game. Yes, I take the points. You know, you're right here. You're in the red zone. You know that your offense can compete with this Wildcat defense, so I take the 3, especially going into the halftime. Going into with some confidence.
Other side of that coin, you're Tom Chavez. You got a defense that's forced 2 turnovers. You know you're going to pin your opponent inside the 10-yard line. I say you go for it. We'll see what happens here. They'd like to score and take all that out.
See what happens on 3rd down first. If they can punch it in, well, that debate's settled. I think both coaches are puzzled on that previous play just as much as we were. We were wondering what was going on.
Still don't know where the penalty flag was at. We were waiting for an indication as to whether it was in the end zone or whether it was a fumble that was recovered by the defense, and out of nowhere came a false start penalty. 3rd and goal, Raiders after the timeout. Load the left side of the field with 3 receivers. Single back behind Elizondo. Takes it, looks to throw, right corner, caught, touchdown Raiders.
Edward Rubio back shoulder fade, beautiful pitch and catch, and right when he came out of the huddle, I was going to say keep an eye on Rubio on the far side of the field. He's going to get a high five from his quarterback. That's Danny Elizondo. If we can get a replay on that. You see that play on Sundays, and as a defensive back, they've always say, what do you do to stop it? And they say there is nothing you can do to stop that back shoulder fade, and a nice execution there from Elizondo and Rubio.
Extra point coming up for the Raiders, up, away, and true. 3 for 3 on the extra points. Raiders back on top, 21-14. Kevin and I will talk about that touchdown a little more after this on ValleyCentral.com. Back here after the touchdown by the Rivera Raiders. And Kevin, we talked about the way that play worked. Receiver sets up, quarterback sees where the defender sets up on defense, execution from there, and you're going to have a touchdown 90% of the time.
Yeah, and as a defensive back, you kind of just got to tip your hat to the quarterback and receiver, and just good communication from Elizondo and Rubio and that back shoulder fade on the far side. And he had the one-on-one coverage, and we were saying earlier that he knew where he was going right out of the snap.
Touchdown by the Rivera Raiders, and that is a 75-yard drive sustained by the Raiders to regain the lead here, 21-14. Still 5 minutes left here in the second quarter of play. Raiders to kick off the ball to the Wildcats. Back inside the 5-yard line. Try the right side this time for the Wildcats. Across the 25, 30-yard line and 32. They'll start the drive there on the return by Juan Badillo.
Plenty of time, 4-minute drill for these Wildcats. They, again, same song, different verse. They're down by 7. Plenty of time. They can just march down the field and knot this one up.
Got a couple of timeouts is left as well. Weslaco East has used the big play for their touchdowns, a 76-yard run and a 79-yard run on their last 2 possessions. So they found ways to find big plays, Kevin. Can they do something here with 4:52 left in the second quarter?
And in other words, you don't need a rush. You can take your time offensively.
Rivas, the quarterback, in a shotgun formation. Single back there with him on first down, wants to throw. Looking, fires it left side, got a man wide open and complete.
Moron, the intended wide receiver, he had a lot of real estate in front of him if he hauls that one in.
Lupe Moron was out there. Rivas just led him a little too far.
Just on a simple crossing route, they found that mismatch there.
Tonight's broadcast coming your way here on ValleyCentral.com in assistance with KBSD, ITV, and the Brownsville School District here at Sam's Stadium on a Thursday night. Second down play coming up, and the Wildcats have to burn their second timeout here in the first half. We'll take a break and talk about it. Be right back after this. Back here at Brownsville School, Sam Stadium, the location. Joe Bolden, Kevin Naro. And Kevin, they had to burn a timeout right there, Weslaco East. You look up, play clock down to 12. Critical second down coming up. Don't want to burn a timeout there, but have to. That was so close to being another huge play for the Weslaco East Wildcats. Rivas now on second down. Looks to throw the ball left side. That's overthrown, incomplete. That time J.R. Villarreal was guarded well. Now you're saying Rivera Raiders, even though they don't have any timeouts left, perhaps they can go on some type of fast break offense and tack more points on the board. Looking ahead to the second half, Weslaco East will get the ball to start the third quarter of play. Currently, they trail by a 7-point spot, 21-14 your score. Rivas on third down. Got to get to the 42 for a first down. Rolls out, pump fake, lets it go, left sideline, incomplete. He overthrew his man. Kevin, of the 2 incompleted passes right there for Weslaco East, either one could have went for 7 points. Rivera sends 2 men back. The deep man is Hugo Vecina, who stands at his 25-yard line. Weslaco East will shift 3 men over on the left side, and now the play clock goes to zeros. Weslaco East, prior to that, had to burn a timeout. This is a learning experience for coaches out here, Kevin, and you can see it. I'm going to beat it to death in game 1. Probably will tomorrow night, too, throughout week 1. Just what a difference it makes in calling plays, getting kids to understand, to get in position. It's no longer the wait 10 to 15 seconds for the play clock to begin. And I saw it in the scrimmage over at Los Fresnos, which is where you'll be tomorrow night. That's where I first saw it. Some officials were taking 2 seconds to start the play clock. Others waiting 17 to 18 seconds, which was the case last year. Can't do that this year. Punt formation for the Weslaco East Wildcats. On third down, Rivera should get good field position out of this deal again. Kick is away, low line drive kick, takes a bounce, and they let it roll. Inside the 10, inside the 5, and down, and they touch the football. What happened there, Kevin? That could be a fumble. That could be a fumble. They are going to talk it over. Right now they're going to say it's Rivera football. Now the officials are going to talk it over. That could easily be a fumble. See if they'll show us a replay on this one. If they've got a replay, it'll be, they're going to give it to the Weslaco East Wildcats. At least that's what the Wildcats are thinking. It is. Yeah. But first of all, you tell him to field the punt. It's a bouncing ball at about the 25, 30-yard line. But after that, get away by all means. They're spotting the ball at the 2, and they're giving the ball to Weslaco East, or are they? The coaching staff to our left side is Weslaco East. They're screaming all the way. It's their football, Kevin, as would be the case with any coaching staff. East offense coming on the field. First and goal from the 2. You talk about big plays and momentum changers. Here it is. 4:20 to go in the second quarter. Rivas sets him down. Full house power eye behind him. On the handoff. Deep man through. Marone in the end zone. Touchdown for Weslaco East. Took 46 seconds off the clock for the Weslaco East Wildcats to respond, and a touchdown run from 2 yards away by Lupe Marone. Extra point good. We'll talk about another kickoff. 21 each. Rivera, Weslaco East on ValleyCentral.com. Back here at Sam Stadium with 4 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the first half of play between the Rivera Raiders and the Weslaco East Wildcats. And dare I say, Kevin, we saw a lot of different momentum changers here in this ball game, from fumbles to big runs to drop passes to now turnovers on special teams. And nothing decided between the two teams, by the way. We're knotted up at 21 each.
Kicking off the Wildcats number 83, Boaz Ramirez.
And they'll kick off. Raiders with plenty of time to start something to finish off this first half. Fumble on the kickoff, fumbled again, and they'll hit the ball at the 9. Let me say it. Kind of looks like a first game of the year all of a sudden. 21-21. Rivera's Raiders will start this drive out across their 14-yard line. No timeouts remaining for the Raiders. Matter of fact, neither team has any timeouts left. Elizondo and company on first down. They've shown the ability to throw the ball against this Wildcat defense. They'll run it this time, right side, gain about 1.5 yards.
Mario Mendez tackled by 42. Ricky Cardosa of the Wildcats.
Next play here, what I want Kevin to do is give us a signal of a now when they start the play clock. And then I'll give you a now on when it would have started last year after this play concludes. Second down play coming up for the Rivera Raiders. Elizondo sends a man in motion left to right. Pitch back, left-hand side across the 24, about the 22-yard line. Now, that's the play clock started this year. They'll set the ball down. Officials sets it in motion. Now is when they would start it again. A lot of time when you're getting new plays in. Rivera Raiders with the football, 3rd and 4. Under 3 minutes to go here in the half. Elizondo wants to throw. Looking out of the pocket now, fires it downfield, overthrows his man, incomplete. Brings up 4th down, and the Raiders will have to punt. And now you're Weslaco East. Kevin, how many of their fans over there were thinking, hey, we can go into halftime with a lead? Punt is blocked. It's a blocked punt. Raiders and Wildcats pick it up in the end zone. Touchdown, Weslaco East. Evan Lopez runs it in. Weslaco East with the lead for the first time in the night. Just use one word here. Wow. Extra point coming out for Weslaco East. They have trouble getting the kicker in. The holder, actually. Still 9 on the play clock. They can get this away. Snapback's a good one. Hold down, ball up, through, good. And with 2:34 to go, hang in there. We're not finished yet with the first half. 28-21. Weslaco East leads Brownsville Rivera. Kevin Naro, I'm Joe Bowling. This is KBSI TV and ValleyCentral.com. Back here, ValleyCentral.com, Kevin Naro, we said it looked like the potential that we had a good game on our hands on paper before this one started, but 28-21 the score was what everyone talked about would be the final score, not the halftime score, and we're not to halftime yet.
No, we talked about it in the pregame as well. We said the defenses and the running game, we said it should be a quick one, but it turns out a shootout in the first half.
Weslaco East has scored on big runs, scored after receiving the ball on a muff punt return, and then block a punt. That ball's loose inside the 5. You better get it quick. If you're the Raiders, they do, but they'll have to start this drive from the 1. And Kevin, Tom Chavez can't get to the halftime locker room fast enough right now.
And when he gets there, you better watch out. The second quarter has been all Wildcats. We said the first quarter went to the Raiders, the second quarter in favor of Weslaco East, and they've come out swinging.
Well, if this were a boxing match, I would say it was a knockdown by the Raiders But if this were boxing, you may be looking at calling this fight as many hits as the Raiders have taken here in this second quarter, because Weslaco East is hammering away at them. First down. Now the Raiders got to be careful. They're deep inside their own 5-yard line to start this drive. Elizondo under center. Hands the ball off. Running play out across the 5. And again, the Raiders can't get to halftime's locker room fast enough. I know the players don't really want to, because they're going to have to hear about, okay, with 5 minutes to go in this half, we were up 21-14, looking pretty good. We had just drove the ball 75 yards. And then, bam, in less than 2.5 minutes, we're down 28-21.
It's been the longest 4 minutes of a first half in my recent memory.
What a way to start the season. Welcome to the 2014 high school football season here, coming to you from Sam's Stadium in Brownsville. Danny Elizondo under center. Hands it off again, left-hand side, spinning forward is Guevara. He'll be stopped short of a first down. Neither team has any timeouts left.
Yeah, no surprise here from head coach Tom Chavez, just to take the conservative route, get off the field and get into that locker room.
The thing about this is that if Weslaco East can get a stop here, they will get the ball back with about 40 seconds to go or so. Either way, they'll have the ball, and one play has shown is enough for Weslaco East.
They've done it a time or two this evening.
Third down for Elizondo. Do you dare put the ball in the air here if you're the Rivera Raiders? Answer there is yes. Looks to throw, has a man. Caught, first down, out across the 10 to the 15, 16-yard line. That'll be good enough to sustain the drive for the Rivera Raiders.
Mario Mendez out of the backfield, hauling that one in and picking up a very important first down there for his Raiders.
Do you take a shot downfield now, Kevin? Anything goes?
I say you stick to the conservative route. You just run that clock out.
Less than a minute to go in this last couple of minutes. You've had a punt return that you fumbled. You've had a punt blocked. Yeah, I'd say you stay conservative here. First down play for the Raiders. Elizondo, pitch back left side. Out across the 20, 23-yard line. And they will not have to snap the football again if they choose to hold on to halftime for the Rivera Raiders. They look like they're in hurry-up offense. Wildcats were trying to substitute. Elizondo's got him off balance, wants to throw. Drops back, fires it right side over the middle, caught across the 40 to the 43. And if they go hurry-up offense, Kevin, 14.5 seconds, they can get another snap away.
Rubio with a big catch there on the right hash. Just went up and got it. 14 seconds now in the first half.
Game clock starts, 13 and counting. Elizondo drops back to throw. Has a ton of time. Delivers the ball right sideline. Leaping attempt. Incompleted pass. Clock stops with 4.5 seconds to go.
They just went the complete opposite of what we thought. Just run out the clock. Call it a half.
So we're what? About 0 for 7 on guessing what a coach might do. That's a good start to the season. 4.5 seconds to go here. 28-21 Raiders. Elizondo out of a shotgun. Should be the last play of the half. Drops back. That's a holding call. Not called. He gets rid of the ball in traffic up the middle. Incompleted pass.
No flags.
Halftime. 28-21. Rivera Raiders lead the Weslaco East Wildcats. We have reached halftime from Sam's Stadium. Kevin Narrow to my right. I'm Joe Bowling. High school bands performing. We'll take a break. Get you set for the second half coverage here as KBSD ITV from Brownsville and ValleyCentral.com present high school football 2014 version. Back after this.